These are my top tips on how to track your fitness progress. Tip number 1, using the scales and taking measurements. The scales can give you a great idea of if you're losing weight, if you're gaining weight, but you have to ensure you're doing it in the correct way. Firstly, ensure you're weighing yourself at the same time of day. Ideally, as soon as you wake up, after you've been to the toilet, and consistently hit this every single time. If you're weighing yourself one day in the morning and then next week weighing yourself one day in the evening and then comparing the two, the results are going to be massively different, but also at the same time they're not going to be accurate at all, because later in the evening you're going to have more food in you, more water, hormones can possibly change, you might have worked out. All of these elements could contribute in towards giving you an inaccurate reading. How many times should you weigh yourself? I'd either suggest one of two things, either every single day, then add up all the numbers together and divide it by 7 to get an average reading, because some days you're going to weigh heavier than others, and if you happen to weigh yourself on the heavier day, you might get a little bit disheartened. And the second option is pick one day of the week where you're going to weigh yourself and make sure you do it every single time, just so you get a much more accurate reading. Taking measurements can be a little bit trickier. When you're doing it, if you're measuring here, for example, one week, then take a mental note of that. Don't measure here and then measure a little bit further down next week, because again, it's not going to be accurate at all. Or perhaps even better, get somebody else to measure you for you, because sometimes it can get a little bit tricky. You try and get around the back and stuff like that. So yeah, get somebody to do it for you ideally. Lastly on that tip, sometimes I don't, this is just personal preference, sometimes I don't always weigh myself after a cheat day or a cheat meal, because in the morning I'm blatantly going to weigh heavier due to the added calories, extra carbs, fats, higher sodium, more salt. I'm going to be holding more water. So yeah, personally, I'd avoid weighing myself after a cheat day. Tip number 2, take photos. Now, I would not advise you do this every single day, because in 24 hours, it's going to be very unlikely your body's going to look any different unless you're doing something like a very intense competition prep. I'd advise maybe once a week, possibly even once a fortnight, and do it as the same technique as the scales, the same time of day, ideally in the morning as soon as you wake up, and you'll get a much more accurate photo. Tip number 3, how do your clothes feel? This tip is more aimed at people wanting to lose weight, whereas the other 2 tips before could be lose weight or gain weight. This can be a much more nicer way of tracking your progress, because sometimes the scales, if you don't like looking at numbers, it can mess a little bit of your head and it can cause a little bit of stress in there. The more stressful you get, the hormone changes, you're putting in a way heavier then. So using your clothes is a great example and a great way to try and track your gym progress without using the scales. Another great reason to use this as some fitness progress tracking is because if you're new to the gym and new to weightlifting and you start to get really into the gym, you start to lift some heavy weights, the scales might not be telling you what's body fat and what's muscle, because if you're new to lifting, then you're more than likely going to build more muscle a lot quicker than an experienced gym user. So when you step onto the scale, it's very possible that in, say, for a month, for example, you could have gained a couple of pounds of muscle, but you think it's body fat. So don't let that mess with your head. So using your clothes is a great example. If you're going to lose body fat, then your clothes are going to feel a lot looser. Plus, if you're brand new to lifting weights, there is a slight possibility that you can build muscle and lose fat at the same time, because it's brand new to your body and your body won't be expecting the change of lifestyle. So again, you can get a bit of an inaccurate reading on the scales, but you might not think that, and it's going to mess with your head. So then my advice is going to be go by how your clothes feel and taking photos. It can all get a little bit confusing. So clothes feel better, yes, good. Feel looser, great. Just to clarify, brand new people, you probably can build muscle and burn fat at the same time. It's possible, it's doable. And if you've got the right genetics, it's definitely doable. So don't let that muck with your head. But if you're not new to lifting, it's very unlikely you're going to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. In fact, it's nearly impossible. Tip number 4, maybe the most important. How do you feel in yourself? Do you feel better? Do you feel healthier? Do you feel like you have more energy? Are you sleeping better? Ask yourself these questions. If it's a yes, then great. If not, then you need to find out the reason why. Tip number 5. Are you getting stronger in the gym? This could also apply for, are you getting fitter? So let's go back to the stronger topic. Each week or every 2 weeks, gradually progressing in your weights. Are they getting heavier? Do you feel stronger? If so, this is a good sign, and keep doing what you're doing. If you're getting stronger, but then you're adding on lots of body fat as well, then my advice would be bring the calories down slightly so you can still progress in them lifts and get stronger, but your body fat gain is minimal. It's also a good way for someone who's doing a bulk and wants to bulk up and build muscle. A good sign of how many calories you're eating. If you're getting stronger, but you're gaining a lot of body fat, then just gently tailor them back a little bit. Are you not getting stronger? Are you not gaining body fat? Then increase your calories ever so slightly. You want to get to that ideal scenario where you're getting stronger in the gym and body fat is minimal, but it's more than likely, in fact, it's guaranteed nearly, you are going to gain a little bit of body fat because you're trying to eat in a calorie surplus. Another thing, not getting strong in the gym, then look at your gym program if you're not getting stronger. Are you eating right? Are you hydrated? Ask yourself these questions. If your goal is to lose weight, then it's very unlikely you're going to get stronger because you should be putting yourself in a calorie deficit. However, again, if you're brand new to weightlifting, then no matter what, you're probably going to get stronger because your body is simply not used to the exercise. Again, it can get very confusing. Just to clarify that last tip, if your goal is to lose weight, it's highly unlikely you're going to get stronger unless you're brand new to lifting where your body's not used to it. If your body is used to it and you are a regular gym goer, then if you're in a calorie deficit and your goal is to get stronger, you're kind of trying to do two goals at once and they don't work well together. If you're in a calorie deficit, then your main goal should be trying to maintain the strength that you already have. Tip number 6 is more of an opinion and something I wouldn't want to do or suggest you do. Using body fat scales or handheld control things to judge your body fat. They are not accurate, and because of this, you'll look at the readings and then in your head, it's going to make you more stressed. You're going to get uptight with yourself. You're going to wonder what's going on. Why is it not? Why am I not losing body fat? Why am I not losing weight? They are not accurate, I promise you. I'm the perfect example. I know for a fact when I'm doing a competition prep and when I'm getting really close to getting on stage, I am not above 10% body fat. However, when I've gone to use body fat scales, they tell me 17%, 20%, sometimes even higher than that, and that is just not accurate at all because I can see my abs, and if you're around 10% or lower, then you can definitely see abs. So these kinds of scales and equipment, they're not 100% accurate. I've also had it where the body fat scale that also measures height and weight, sometimes it's said that I am 6 foot. Yes, that's correct. But then other times I've gone on there and it says 5'4". I have definitely not shrunk that much, so even that is sometimes a little inaccurate. I would never personally use these kind of things to track your gym progress, and you should go by the previous 5 tips that I've just given you. Hope you enjoyed that video, guys, and hopefully them tips can help you in your fitness journey. I'll see you soon for more Dan Rayner fitness tip videos.